Hi guys, Shema Polot here and welcome back to the channel. Happy December. This week I want to show you how to use a fantastic function in Excel and Google Sheets called XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP is an improvement on the VLOOKUP function and the index match function, which are powerful tools for looking up information in tables, and it just makes it so much easier to find things when you have large tables. Okay, but XLOOKUP I haven't talked about it much because it's been kind of unavailable in certain lower versions of Excel. But now that XLOOKUP is in Google Sheets, then it makes sense for me to make a video about it. So that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a very real-time scenario of how you can use XLOOKUP to look up information on a shopping list or in some sort of product catalog that you might have in Excel. So let's get into it. All right. So, what you see here is a table of the different items in the shop, item size, color, and price. And then I'm going to create a little sort of like dashboard, but really it's like a summary table that will have drop downs for the different items, as you can see there, and size, drop downs for the different sizes. And then to give you a quick recap on how to create a drop down, I am going to clear this one so that I can do it from scratch. So to do that, I click inside the cell, I go to data validation. Under the data tab, I select list here, then I get the source, and the source goes to, I go to this sheet where I put all those lists, and then instead of selecting the whole list from here like this, I use this hash sign, and I use that hash sign because I used the unique function to find these. The unique function is a dynamic array function. You can watch my video on dynamic arrays. I'll leave it in the description below. But once I do that, I click OK, and now we have a drop down with our colors. Okay, so now I want to find the price of the clothing item based on these three specifications, whether it's a t-shirt, whether it's medium, and whether it's blue. Okay. And I'm going to show you two different ways to do this, okay? So the first way is using asterisks, and I'm going to just follow along closely. It can be a bit confusing, but I'm going to try to explain it as well as possible. So just be patient and let's get into it. So I start with the XLOOKUP function, equal sign, XLOOKUP. I press tab to initiate it. The lookup value here is a value that you're looking for. And in this case, I'm going to call that 1, and I will explain later. I know this is a bit confusing, but I'll explain why it's 1. Then next, the lookup array is the array or the range of cells where you are searching to find these items. In this case, we are searching in 3 different arrays to find these items. Okay, so what I'm going to do is open a bracket and say I want you to search inside this range, and I want you to search inside that range whenever it equals to the value in here. In this case, that is t-shirt. Okay, I close that bracket. I use an asterisk, which is like a multiplication sign. Okay, then I say I also want you to search inside the size range and look for something that's equal to this size right here. I'm going to close that bracket. Oh, I forgot to open the bracket here. Open that bracket. Those are mistakes that I usually make and end up getting errors. Then multiplication sign again. I am going to look inside this color range and look for, gotta open the bracket again, and look for the color when it's equal to the color inside our summary table. I close that out, and so at this point in time, I can add the comma. Then the next thing I want is the return array. The return array is the array that is going to give us what we're actually looking for. In this case, we are looking for the price. Okay, so the price is inside this array right here. Okay, so now the beautiful thing about XLOOKUP is it has these additional optional arguments that it takes. And today I'm going to ignore the match mode and the search mode for now. I just want to show you the if not found. Which is what happens if XLOOKUP looks through your table and it doesn't find what you're looking for. You can tell it what to return. In this case, I'm just going to tell it to return none. And then I'm going to close the bracket like that. And I hit enter. So as you can see, I have gotten 16. What I am going to do really quickly is just convert this to dollars, like that. Okay, so now let's just check if it's right. So let's look for a t-shirt that's medium and blue. We come to our table, t-shirt that's medium and blue, as we can see, it is $16. Fantastic. So now we're just going to manipulate just a few of them to see what we get. We change this to a dress. We see a dress medium blue is $29. We come to our table, dress medium blue, $29, okay? So we absolutely know that our formula is working, okay? So that is the first way to do it. So now let me explain what I did in the formula, okay? So I'm going to double click this so you can see. Okay, so let's start with why I chose 1 as a lookup value, okay? So the reason why I chose 1 is when you look at these 3 brackets that I created, which were the 3 arrays that I was searching, okay? What I create here is some sort of multiplication that takes advantage of true or false logic in Excel. True or false logic, true or false can also be 0, 1, and 0, where 1 is true and 0 is false, okay? So what I am doing here is, in Excel, is I'm creating a sort of question where I'm asking Excel, if you check inside this range, C5 to C15, which is this one, and you find, when you check inside this range, and you find that it is equal to the value in here, which is in I4, which is dress in this case, if it is true, then Excel returns 1, okay? It does the same thing here. Check inside D5 to D15, and see if, give me every instance where this equals what's inside here. It returns 1 again. And inside here, again, do the same thing for E5 to E15, whenever it's equal to whatever is inside E6, the color, and it returns 1. So what ends up happening is you have 1 times 1 times 1, which gives you 1. That's why our lookup value is 1. So what I'm telling Excel is I want you to look up the scenario where the value you get here is 1, meaning that you have to multiply whatever is here times whatever is here times whatever is here and get 1, okay? If you don't get 1, then that's when you end up with something like none, which means if not found, okay? So let's see if we can create a scenario where it's none, okay? There we go. Dress medium gray is none. And when we look inside our dress options, we can see that there is no dress that's medium and gray. We have dress medium here, and it's dress medium blue, okay? So what happens in the formula is it checks through here, C5 to C15, I4, it finds dress, yes, so that becomes 1. 1 times, it checks medium, and it finds dress medium, so this is also 1. But then when it comes here and it's looking for gray, because there's no gray here, that's dress medium and gray, this part will be 0. So when you multiply 1 times 0, you get 0, okay? So in this case, the lookup value is 1. That's why it's not found, and therefore you end up with none, which is what we put as not found. Does that make sense? Yes, so that's why I chose 1, and that is one way that we can do that. Now, the next way is avoiding asterisks and using what we call concatenation, which is using the ampersand sign, and let's get into it. This way, I think, is maybe faster. It really is up to you, okay? So for the lookup value, so instead of doing 1 like before, what we're going to do is we're going to use the and sign to sort of combine the options that we're looking for. So we're going to say I'm looking for whatever is in here, and whatever is in here, and whatever is in here, okay? That's our lookup value. I'm looking for the lookup value that's dress, medium, and gray, okay? That's it, okay? So then our lookup array is going to be very similar to what we did before, but this time we're just going to say we're going to search in this range and this range and this range, okay? And then our return array is going to be the price. And then we add the comma. And so next we're just going to enter the if not found, and we're going to do none again. Remember, if you're typing text into Excel formulas, you have to surround the text with quotation marks. So then after that, I close the bracket and I press enter. And as you can see, I get none again, okay? So let's talk about what's happening here. So in this case, the and sign, what the and sign does is it just slaps different pieces of text together in Excel. It gets whatever is in I4 and connects it to whatever is in I5, connects it to whatever is in I6, okay? So then what ends up happening is that you have something that looks like this: dress, medium, and gray. This is what the ampersand does. So for example, if I write dress, medium, and gray here, and I use the ampersand to connect them like this, this is what you get. You see that? So the same logic applies here. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those three values together like that. And then I just do the same thing here. What I'm doing is searching inside that first range item, add that to this second range, add that to this second range, okay? So basically, it's checking inside these three, all put together, and it's looking for this. It's looking for this, okay? It is looking for dress, medium, gray. It's looking for a scenario when these three are together, okay? So that's what happens. It searches through that, and it returns none because there's no dress, medium, gray. However, if we change this to red, maybe there's no red dress, change it to blue, and we have 29 again, then we can go there and format it. But yes, so those are two different ways that you can use XLOOKUP to look up a bunch of values. So usually it's helpful when you're looking up the price, but there's so many other scenarios where you can use this. You could be looking up someone's department in a company, you could be looking up their salary, you could be looking up their commission, you could be looking up their ID number. So many different things you could be looking up, and XLOOKUP would be powerful for that. XLOOKUP is so much better than VLOOKUP because you can look up things in any direction, while in VLOOKUP, you have to look up things from left going right, but in XLOOKUP, you can look things up in all different directions, so it's just perfect. Index match can do exactly the same thing. Index match is just a little more complex, so I think it's actually easier to learn how to do this than to use index match. Otherwise, that is it for this video. I hope this is really helpful for you. It's a fantastic little trick. I hope you can use it soon. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.